morning. Welcome back to my channel. If you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Adesu Zodema and I'm a YouTuber based in Lagos, Nigeria. Yep, by the title of this video, you will know why we are here. I actually promised that I was going to give details of why. I promised I was going to give details of why I'm a single mom. So here's the backstory and the full story. I know some of you will be thinking, maybe she got an unwanted pregnancy, maybe this, or no, maybe, don't worry, bother yourself no more. Don't disturb your pretty head because I'm going to tell you what happened. Okay, so I got married in 2019. Yeah, I got married. So after the wedding, obviously you move. So I moved with my husband to where he is, and we were living happily ever after until I gave birth to my son, Chikamso. You all know him already. I gave birth to Chikamso in August 2020. Yes, I gave birth to Chikamso in August 2020, and everybody was happy. My mom was happy. Everybody around me was happy too. So my mom, I'm an Igbo girl, so definitely for those of you that are Igbos, you understand these procedures. So my mom came to my house for Omugo. So when she stayed in my house for 2 months, and she had things to do in Lagos. So she said she was going to go back to Lagos and attend to her personal business and the rest of them. Then my husband was like, okay, the baby is still very small, and I am not 2 feet because my baby is quite big. Yeah, he was very big. So he was like, I'm not quite fit, and he still feels that I still have a lot to learn in terms of nursing a baby. So he was like, okay, hence my mom is going back to Lagos. I can as well go with her to Lagos with my child. We argued it a little, like, no, don't go, yes, go. My mom was like, no, let her stay here and manage her home and this and that. My husband was like, no, that I have to go. Besides, the baby is not up to 3 months, so I have to go with the child, with my mom, so that she can also monitor the baby and monitor me as well and put me through 1 or 2 things. Okay, we finally agreed that I should go to Lagos with my mom. On getting to Lagos, obviously, we talk every day, from time to time, every single opportunity, we have conversations. Like, I call my husband or he calls me. Until one fateful day, we spoke, right? And my baby was due for another immunization by 3 months already. My baby was due for another immunization. So I wanted to make inquiries if I could give him the immunization in Lagos. So we discussed about it. I called my husband and we discussed about it. And he was like, okay, fine, that's a good one. I should verify. While I went to the immunization center to verify, and they confirmed that I can give my baby his immunization here in Lagos, I relayed the message back to him, and he was like, okay, fine, that's a good one. Long story cut short, on a Sunday, I think, 15th of November 2020, I called, I spoke to my husband, right? After that 15th of November happened to be on a Sunday. So I spoke to my husband normally. And then he said he was going to watch football and he will talk to me when he gets back. All right, no problem. So he went to watch his football, and when he came back from watching the football, we spoke. That was before going to bed. We spoke and we bid ourselves good night. On the 16th of November, I went for my baby's immunization. So I called him before going anyway. He wasn't picking my call. I was like, okay, maybe he's not with his phone, or maybe he's taking his breath or something. So me, I had to hurry up. You know how Nigerian immunization centers are. If you have to go early, you have to be there on time, and the rest of them, or else you meet crowd, or they will tell you they've collected the number of persons they want to collect for the day. COVID-19 procedures and protocols. So I was trying to hurry up so that I can meet up to give my baby his immunization for that day, for 3 months. So I called early in the morning and he wasn't picking my call. I was like, okay, no problem. I think I'll talk to you later. I'll call him back later. Or if he sees my missed call, he's going to call me back. On getting to the immunization center, I was already relaxed. Like, okay, fine. We've submitted our cards. They've given us our number and everything. So we're just waiting for our turn. I was like, okay, yeah, that's true. I was actually calling this man. Let me call him again. Or let me see if he has called me and I missed his call. So I checked my phone. There wasn't any missed call from him. And I was like, okay, why hasn't he called me back? So I called again. He wasn't picking my call. All right. I concentrated on hearing my number and getting my baby's immunization. After the immunization, I called him, like, okay, we've collected this immunization. No, this is the outcome, blah, blah, blah. He still wasn't picking my call. And I'm like, okay, what's wrong? Like, what the hell? What is this? Why are you not picking my call, for crying out loud? Like, you want to tell me that you didn't see my... normal me, like a normal human being, you start getting pissed. Why is your spouse not picking your call? For what reason? I'm not there with you and you're not picking my call. Like, what's up? That was the state I was in then. I was kind of pissed, like, why is he not picking my call? What's the meaning of that? If I don't pick his call, how will he feel? Blah, 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 blah. So we got home and I was worried a little bit and I was angry. Yeah, that's the truth. I was worried a little bit, but I was angry. I was angry that he wasn't picking my call. I was angry that he didn't call me back. And he knows that we were going to the immunization center that day. So he should have at least called to know what's up. So when we got home, I was trying to put my baby to sleep and get him, like, pet him. You know, he took injections, so definitely it was kind of painful. But I was still calling this guy. He wasn't picking my call. Like, this was already past 4. And he was still not picking my call. I got more worried than angry. So I had to make other calls. I had to call some other persons, like friends or so, that they should check up on him if he's fine. Somebody went to my house. Someone I called, I told the person to please go to my house and go to his business area, whether he's there. And I just wanted to know if he's fine. Then let it be that he's not picking my call. They said, the person went to his business area and said he's not there. I said, okay, please go to the house and check on him for me. Is he sick? What is the problem? At least he should have picked my call and said something to me, right? The person went to the house and knocked at my gate for the longest time. Nobody was answering. So I started getting worried. And when the person called me to give me this information, the person had already left my house. So I told the person, okay, that he should try and see if he can scale the fence. He said no, that he had already left my place. I was like, wow, okay, no problem. I thanked him for his help and everything. So he left. And then I called, I had to call my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law stays in the same state with us as a then. So I called my brother-in-law and he was like, okay, first thing in the morning, that's the following day being Tuesday, he was going to call or go there to see what's going on. I couldn't sleep, but I kept on trying his number. It was ringing, nobody was speaking. So I was like, okay, did someone steal his phone? Okay, fine. He should have at least looked for a way to communicate with me or tell somebody, I don't know, anyhow, let him just talk to me. But none of this was happening. So the following day, I couldn't sleep that night, but I couldn't wait for daybreak. So when it was daybreak, as early as possible, I already called my brother-in-law. I was like, what's going on? Meanwhile, I was still nursing my baby that took immunization the previous day. He was kind of running temperature, so I was managing him and I was also managing my emotions. On Tuesday morning, my brother-in-law went to the house and knocked and knocked. Nobody was responding. He then was like, okay, fine. They can't scale the fence. They were like, okay, let them go and make an entry at the station. So they went to the police station and they reported that they are looking for so person. The last time they spoke to him was on a Sunday, and today is Tuesday, and they've not heard anything from him. So the police followed them to his business area, asked around, they said they've not seen him. Then they went to the house. Okay. They knocked at the gate normally and nobody was responding. So a policeman now had to scale the fence and opened the gate from inside. On getting inside, before they touched anything, according to them, they said they had to move around and check around what was going on, if there's any strange movements or things. They couldn't find any. So they had to start peeping through all the windows. In the process of peeping through all the windows, they found him lying down on the bed, lifeless. So they discovered him in the room, dead. While they were trying to fathom what was going on, they had to check if there was anything like bullets or whatever. They didn't find any. So at that point, me back in Lagos, I was worried. I needed feedback like ASAP. So I was like panicking. I then called my mom. I was like, I'm leaving for my base. I'm going. I'm so going. Like today, I'm going. My mom was like, you don't just make such decisions. You have to like plan your movement. Besides, your husband said he was going to come pick you guys. So what's the change of plans for and the rest of them? I said, I've been trying this guy since on Monday and he's not picking my calls. And I don't know, I called so some persons to check out for me and they are not, they've not given me feedback. I'm not comfortable, I'm not okay, I need to go. So my mom was like, okay, I should give her the numbers of those that have already called. Let her communicate with them and see if they can tell her anything that she needs to know. So I gave her the number, she called, and then they told her that, okay, they can't talk to her, they need to talk to her husband, which is my dad. Okay? So my mom was like, okay, fine, no problem. She now came to me and asked me to bring my phone, that she ran out of airtime, and then she needed to use my phone to make some calls. I was like, okay, fine, no problem. I gave her my phone, and then she went out. My mom didn't come back until, say, 30 minutes or close to an hour. I was like, why is this woman with my phone? Like, why? I need to call. And I wasn't cool with that, so I just needed her to come back. She came back and went to the restroom to ease herself and came out. I was like, okay, mom, also Papa now, waiting, then talk. She's like, hey, don't worry, they're on it. Now, my mom had already sent my dad's number to them because they said they don't want to talk to my mom. So they had already sent my dad's number to them. And they had communicated what happened to my dad. They feel he would handle the information way better than my mom and myself. So my dad called my mom and told my mom what happened, but instructed my mom not to tell me until he gets back. So, long story again, cut short. Fast forward to when I demanded for my phone from my mom, and my mom was like, no, she can't give me my phone now, that she's still busy with it. There's some number she used my phone to call, and those people could call my number back, and she needs to speak to them. Now, I now asked her what was going on. She refused to tell me. She was like, they didn't tell her anything, that they spoke to my dad, but we are waiting for my dad to come back. At that point, I was like, okay, why are you waiting for my daddy to come back? Why didn't they tell you whatever they wanted to tell you? Is he in the hospital? Just say it and let me quickly carry myself to that place. Or what is going on? I was racking my head. I was thinking. So my dad came back from work that very day and he wasn't talking to me. He just went straight inside his room, freshened up, came out, went outside. My mom was just following him like that. And I was just looking at the two of them. I was like, come on, you people supposed to tell me something now. What is going on? They will discuss outside. They will come back. At that point, I was like, anything people want to do, people should tell me what happened. If he's in the hospital, people should tell me that he's in the hospital. If he has traveled, people should tell me that he has traveled. Whatever, just tell me. So I then realized that they were trying to call my reverend so that my reverend would tell me. Probably he has a better way of arranging the news to me. But my reverend was far away. He's in Lagos here, but he was held up in traffic, so he couldn't come as soon as they wanted him to. So my dad was like, "Shebi, are the one that gave birth to her. We'll tell her by ourselves." So they came inside and they sat me down. And they were like, you know how parents can be. They start with adage, proverbs. There's nothing that happens that God is not aware of. For everything that happens, God is in the know. He is aware and he allowed it to happen, stuff like that. And what happened is that, and I'm like, yeah, we're getting to the point. So my dad was like, what happened is that your husband is dead. What? Do people die like that? No way. I didn't take the information at first. I was like, that's not true. I better tell me the real gist. And I was like, no, he's dead. They found him inside the house in his room, lifeless, on the bed. And they already moved him out of the house to the morgue. What? How? Why? He didn't. I was super confused at first. Before you know what happened. So my parents were trying to hold me and try to console me. And they were insisting that I shouldn't allow the whole thing get to me because of my child. So that, you know how Igbo people can be. They'll tell you don't do this because of this, don't do that because of this. They know they cry for nights and this, that. But I wasn't understanding what was going on. I was like, why will this guy just come into my life? Fine, I have a child with him, yeah, but why would he just come into my life just for a while and then go? Why? What happened? I had so many unanswered questions. I still have some unanswered questions till now. So I have so many unanswered questions in my head. And when I keep asking, I was like, why? What happened? How did it happen? Like I started asking questions. Any question that comes to my head, I ask. And they were like, they don't know. They don't know how to answer the question and the rest of them. So my other brother-in-law that was outside the country, instructed that, okay, fine. They've taken him to the mortuary. They don't need to keep him for too long. Like, he's still a young boy. There's no point keeping him for that long. Should start planning the burial immediately. So, I had to now travel the next day with my child back to my base, to my house, and I was freaking scared to go in. Well, we did one or two arrangements and cleanups and the rest of them because they had to start dressing his body. They said they started dressing his body from the house before they took him to the mortuary. So I could perceive some chemicals and the rest of them. So we had to start doing some cleanup, obviously. But I was freaking confused. I was tensed. I was angry. I was what's the word? I was devastated. At that point, I didn't even know how to feel, honestly, because I I couldn't process the information properly, but I knew I wasn't happy with whatever that had happened. So we got ready after the arrangement and cleanup and everything. So we had to get ready to travel back to the east for burial proper. So that made me a single mom. So I knew I had my last video. I know you guys must have seen it, and some of you asked me, why am I a single mom? How come I'm a single mom? What happened to baby daddy? Yeah, baby daddy died and left Chikamso and I here. So that was what happened. I'm recuperating, obviously. Try to be happy so that my baby does not feel, although he's still very small, he might not understand anything, but I'm just trying to put up smiley face, teach him how to always smile and be happy every single time. Sometimes I sit back and I still wonder why. Sometimes I sit back and I think about as in I have memories in my head, yes, but we have to move, right? Yeah, we have to move. So thanks for watching. Like my video, comment on them, share my video, and subscribe. And to my returning subscribers, I love you guys so much. Thank you so very much for supporting me. Thank you for, liking and watching my videos and sharing. Honestly, like, I see my videos in some other platforms and I'm so grateful. I'm really, really grateful for sharing my videos and commenting. I'm so grateful for. So, but please keep it up. Don't relent. Don't get weary. Don't get tired. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.